Hi everybody, thank you for joining us on this update on making tax digital, what it means, what its implications are for our clients, and what Hive's take on it is, and how it could be turned into a great opportunity. Hayley's kindly joined us today.
Hello.
Nice to see you. Hayley, let's start from the top. What is making tax digital?
So making tax digital has been on the horizon for a fair few years now, and for VAT registered businesses, which obviously kind of doesn't affect our clients, but it's been in effect since 2019. But it's basically HMRC have implemented new legislation. They're trying to bring our tax system into the 21st century, really, to make it more efficient, and they want to get more visibility over what profits people are generating. So basically it means that not having any digital software to keep record of your income and expenditure and your profits won't be acceptable. They'll be asking people to make regular submissions using their approved software, so they can get a sense check of profits throughout the year. So that's in a nutshell what making tax digital is.
Sorry, how many times a year is it that they've got to submit the figures?
Each quarter. So at the moment, most people are used to just submitting annual company accounts or annual tax returns, which might mean a couple of submissions a year. But this is much more strict. So there will be quarterly submissions, and the deadlines for when they're due is quite tight as well. So basically a 3-month period will end. You'll then have 1 month and 7 days to make that submission to HMRC.
And will you have to make a payment with each submission?
No, actually payment deadlines are staying the same. So this is worth noting at the moment that this is only applicable for self-employed individuals. So HMRC haven't laid out their plans for corporation tax and if you run as a company just yet, but that is on the horizon. So yeah, just applicable for self-employed individuals. So if you're a sole trader or if you have any rental income in excess of 10,000, this will affect you. But your payment deadlines will remain the same. So payment due to HMRC every January and every July. Cool.
Is it cynical of me to say that it's a way of HMRC getting more tax in any way, or further outsourcing the reporting and collection of
I think it's, yeah, it probably is. I think it's a way of them getting much more visibility. So at the moment, they only get to see what profits you've generated, sometimes almost over a year after the event. So them asking you to make submissions in real time basically allows them to keep track of what profits that you're earning. Also, an important point to note is that your accountant doesn't necessarily need to be involved in those quarterly submissions. What HMRC are portraying is that you can make those submissions from your software each quarter yourself. They're not expecting those figures to be reviewed or adjusted by an accountant. Then when you come to the end of your year, your accountant will help you make what they're calling an end of year submission. So it's basically a way of them still getting their annual checked and stamped tax return like they usually would from an accountant, but they've also got quarterly checkpoints to see what profits you're generating. So the cynic in you might say, well, that raises investigations because they've got more data to interrogate basically.
Okay. And the software you're talking about, I'm assuming that's Xero. That's what it would be, or in Ireland it would be Xero anyway.
Yeah, Xero is one of they've got a list of approved softwares. So there are others. You've probably seen adverts on the TV for QuickBooks and making tax digital. At Hive, we're great advocates of Xero just because the reporting functionality is better than other softwares on the market. So if you're already a client, 99% of our clients already use Xero. So you're obviously a step ahead in that sense to a lot of other businesses in the UK that quite a lot of them still use kind of spreadsheets and paper and that sort of thing. So the transition shouldn't be as great.
Yeah, we've obviously had quite a bit of discussion about it internally, and actually our conclusion was it could actually be quite a positive move. Obviously, people know that I generally don't like any kind of bureaucracy or legislation, but looking beyond that, actually it's from a financial hygiene point of view, it's probably healthy to be doing a quarterly financial review. Would you say that's fair?
Definitely. So, bookkeeping sometimes is kind of just viewed as something that has to happen for your accounts and tax return to be prepared, which is the case. But having kind of good quality data has so much more uses and benefits for people. So if we've got real-time data, we can help with their business strategy. If they're coming to sell, we can jump on that. We've got good data to make sure that their valuation is right. Not to mention all the kind of tax planning that we can do has to be assessed on kind of current level profits. There's kind of not much we can do with just data that's a year old because your circumstances might not be the same. So allows us to kind of capture opportunities, effectively tax plan, which often we're kind of saving thousands, if not tens of thousands in tax for our clients each year that kind of have that data readily available. So we just see it as a good positive thing, basically.
So it'll kind of force almost the gold standard of what we'd want from a financial reporting point of view, which obviously it's never nice to be forced to do something, but it is that financial hygiene that we talk about. It's a bit like you can't have implants if you've got bad gums. You kind of bookkeeping is it's
the foundation for everything. Yeah. So if you've got that sorted and a good kind of robust system to get it, Making Tax Digital will have no impact on you because it will literally be kind of clicking a button each quarter. Which is why we're kind of saying to people, this isn't due to come into effect until next April 2024. But it's been something that we've been an advocate of, having good quality data for years now. So I wouldn't delay and kind of Making Tax Digital the kind of thing that spins you into action. Kind of do it now because the benefits are for you, not for HMRC.
Great. So it's kind of flipping. So accountancy traditionally is a historic reporting service, isn't it? This is allowing you to be proactive and actually get the data and make changes in real time, so you can get better tax results. We definitely see in practice sale that like the price can vary radically during the due diligence process based around how bad or good the data is. So if you've got good data, you might be bagging an extra 15% on the exit value. And if we're selling anyone, we'll work with them in advance to make sure that data's good. But I wouldn't say it's the market norm to operate that way. We see enough deals from the other side that do often fall apart. Maybe you can actually give a bit of insight as to what that might look like, or what.
So obviously it worked for people that are buying and people that are selling as well. So basically you have a value that's agreed on your heads of terms, that there's a valuation, but that is always subject to kind of people like me coming in and interrogating the figures. So is the turnover what the turnover should be, or what has been disclosed as, what's the profit, that sort of thing. If you've got good robust data that can be interrogated, you can essentially easily justify that price is that price. If you don't have that data and the good quality systems to make sure everything's kind of checked and reconciled and can be relied upon, then it leaves kind of little cracks open to kind of say, okay, you've said turnover was this amount, but how can you justify it? And it might be that your turnover was that amount and your profit was that, but if you can't justify it, it leaves you open to renegotiations on price, basically. So if you're looking to sell within the next 5 years, you want at least 2 years of good quality data. So for that reason alone, kind of implementing Xero and bookkeeping systems would be really recommended.
So for our clients that don't feel they're on top of the data, what should they do? Should they just get in contact with us and we'll figure out a plan to get them financially fit? Is that?
Yeah, it's something we spend a lot of time doing. So we work with quite often new clients will come to us and they might have Xero, but it's not really been used or kind of kept up to date and they've not been trained. Or they might kind of just be using a spreadsheet at the time. So we offer Xero as part of all our service packages. We offer the training basically for them to understand how to use Xero if they want to use it to any extent themselves. But quite often we do the process for them. So we can kind of say, okay, you supply us with this information each month, each quarter. We'll get it on Xero, make sure it's all kind of high quality checked, feedback with reports as and when they're needed. So yeah, can either kind of give us the whole task and we'll take care of everything for you, or if you want to be a little bit more involved, we can help you get the implementation underway, provide you with training so that you know how to use the software.
Yeah, it's we talk about it a lot, that the way Xero and all the softwares are advertised are as the solution, but they're not. They're a means to get the solution. They're a great platform. I couldn't think of a better analogy of it, but it's like the difference between, cutting your grass with a pair of scissors versus a lawnmower. You still have to push the lawnmower, but you can get much better results quicker and more reliably. So it is a great thing, but there has to be a certain level of ownership on the client. There has to be ownership on the client. Firstly, to actually liaise with the accountant to get it up to date, and also if they need to take ownership if they're not going to do it as well, because we do see that we all agree to things in the moment that we think we're going to have time to do, or we think we're going to prioritize and then end up not doing. So I do think we've changed our view slightly over the past few years, that we're actually kind of more encouraging people to use bookkeeping services if there's a kind of repetition of us getting last minute data, not great bookkeeping, whereas we used to probably be a bit more passive with that, I think.
Yeah, so Xero is, well, it's designed for business owners. So it's a software that kind of 10 years ago, you had the likes of Sage that you had to be an accountant to use because it's really complicated. Xero is designed for business owners to use. So some dentists do like to kind of do the bookkeeping themselves. And a lot of our clients would quite like to keep that level of control. There's only so many hours in a day though, and it is kind of inherently, because it's not within the comfort zone, it's the thing that gets pushed. So we very much tried to see how we could basically help with that. So now we encourage clients to kind of come to us and we'll keep Xero up to date for them. So rather than spending kind of, I don't know, 2 days a month on kind of keeping on top of Xero and that sort of thing, they can kind of just spend half an hour gathering some information for us and we do the rest for them, because it's better for us to have data kind of that's 90% accurate and we've kind of almost got it there with a few queries for you a month after the year end, than kind of waiting kind of 9 months until you've got some holiday and then you're spending your holiday doing your bookkeeping to catch up just so we can do the annual accounts for you. Much better use of their time to be doing kind of things within the practice than the bookkeeping.
Yeah, the amount of times I've been in board meetings with clients and they say, sorry, I couldn't do the marketing reporting or something. I spent all Sunday doing Xero. I'm kind of thinking, what's the cost of you doing Xero to the business? And it's huge. Actually, it's probably more than the cost of them missing a day in clinic as well. So I personally do advocate for it. There's no way I'd be able to keep my own Xero up to date, and I'm not very organised, so that might be why a big part of it. But yeah, is the main reason that is there, beyond the kind of cost element, is it a sense of control that people quite like over the numbers?
I think it's a sense of control, and sometimes kind of practice owners think they should be doing it because they should be having a handle on their finances of the business, and kind of them keeping the data entry side of Xero kind of maybe falsely kind of ticks that box for them, because we can, by us doing the bookkeeping, doesn't kind of advocate everything. We would do the bookkeeping and then probably leaves them in a better position to stand back and actually look at what that bookkeeping is telling them, what those figures are telling them, rather than kind of spending hours kind of making the data entering the data rather than actually stepping back and reviewing what that data is telling them.
It's definitely easier to kind of see insights if you're detached from something. So I hadn't actually thought about that so much, that if you're in it, you might not be able to interpret it. Whereas if it's prepared and then there's the quarterly meeting where you're reviewing it, you're not biased by anything that you feel like you've seen on the front line of it. So yeah, that's definitely good. Are we, is it something that we're always looking to join new clients and stuff, but is this something that we're finding people talking about yet, or is it still quite quiet as people are joining us? Are they
Making tax digital? Or,
yeah.
I think people are starting purely because it's on kind of TV adverts a little bit, so it's starting to crop up a little bit. So yeah, particularly for new clients, a lot of our existing clients are kind of already set up, and other than kind of registering for the Making Tax Digital service, kind of got the systems in place already. But I think it's also something that people are more alert to, that an accountant can probably do more than just your compliance accounting. So if you've got something which gives your accountant easy visibility over finances, there's more ways that they can help you, rather than kind of you keeping your own spreadsheet that gives you the information you need but isn't visible to anyone else to be able to help you with.
Is there a reason why every accountancy firm wouldn't be kind of welcoming this with open arms? Or would that, would every accountancy firm say, this is great, everyone's going to have better information, we can do a better job?
No, I think it is quite scary for the accountancy industry in general, purely for the fact that we've been working with cloud-based software for kind of over 10 years now. So it's not something that's new. As I kind of mentioned before, it's something that we've been encouraging clients to do anyway. So 99% of our clients have got the software already. So yes, there's some work to do with some people to try and help them kind of keep it up to date and work out how best we're going to do that, and if we can help them in any other ways. But for most accountancy services, they're dealing with clients that are still kind of turning up for year-end accounts with a bag full of receipts, or if you're lucky, you might have a spreadsheet. So for them, it's a mammoth shift to first get their clients onto any cloud-based software, and then to ensure that clients are kind of actively keeping that up to date. So yeah, I think the accounting industry is seeing this as it's a massive shift for everyone, and to be honest, a lot of them are viewing it as quite a massive headache. But yeah, as I said, we're kind of seeing it as a positive thing, because it's kind of reinforcing everything that we've been working hard to achieve over the last few years anyway.
Yeah, is this anything to do? So generally when a new customer joins us, we'll be able to pretty quickly find ways of saving them some tax, essentially. So is that because we ask more questions, or I know it's not just one thing, but will it be to do with data and actually getting them financially fit, and then we can give the advice? Or is it actually, is it how we appraise them or something like that? Because it always seems weird to me that everyone that joins us can get an immediate tax saving in their first 12 months. And you kind of explained that's because that's kind of how the accounting industry works. You'll only get something if you ask for it, whereas we actually engage with the client and try and figure out what they want.
Yeah, I think it's a mixture of both as well. I think if quite often you have accountants that, because they don't put so much focus on making sure that foundation bookkeeping is there, they then spend a lot of time correcting that and producing the compliance accounts and kind of meeting the deadline, that it doesn't leave them with any kind of time to look forward and kind of plan effectively, unless kind of you're raising questions to your accountant, like you might have read, I don't know, something about buying an electric car or something. So at that point, so I think we're a lot more proactive in the way that we approach things, because we straight away get financial visibility, and then we're really clear on how we can help our clients. So because we just work with dentists, we know we've got kind of a toolkit of different things that we know help our clients. So we can really easily get to the stage where we can assess their profits, and we've got kind of as I said, a toolkit of ways to help them.
Brilliant. So kind of the key takeaway is not don't worry about it, that's not the takeaway, but actually it could be quite exciting, because if you've got a handle on the numbers of your business, even as an associate as well, if you've got a handle on your trading performance, there are significant gains to be made. So it is a bit of a pain in the short term, but long term it could be great. So kind of remain positive with it, and don't give Hayley a call because she's going on maternity, but do give someone in the team a call, and they can help talk you through it. And just make sure, yeah, you're on top of it. But genuinely, it's kind of just good business practice to be on top of the numbers.
Yeah, you get benefits in loads of other ways, so it's only a good thing.
Great stuff. Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Hayley.
Thank you.